Okay, I think you can hear me properly and you can see me properly. Okay, very good evening for everyone. Right, we are going to start the fourth day of our 2028 theory class. Then, prior to this class, now we have conducted 3 classes and we have covered unit 1 completely. Then, we have covered the water part of the chemical basis of life, and we are moving towards the biological molecules, starting with carbohydrates today, right? So today we are discussing from monosaccharide till the end of disaccharide part. Okay, so be ready for the session. Okay, right, be ready for the session, and we'll have a good session today. So you guys need to have the full attention towards the session, right? So don't just break your discipline there and continue with the way you are continuing from now, from the past 3 days, right? Okay, so maintain the same spirit and same levels, okay, same levels of energy levels, and be alert and be careful, okay, because be careful because not to break your attention, right? Okay, so keep the attention on the scenario, right, on the class, on the session, right? So we are starting from the topic number, it means actually the point number 4, right? The basic characteristics of carbohydrates, right? Point number 4. So write down point number 4. Basic characteristics of carbohydrates. Basic characteristics of carbohydrates, right? Okay, so we'll start from the first point. Write down carbohydrates are the most abundant. Carbohydrates are the most abundant group of most abundant group of organic compound on the earth. Carbohydrates are the most abundant group of organic compounds on the earth, right? So group of organic compounds, underline that one, right? Group of organic compound, that part underline. Okay, then point number 2, major elemental composition is major elemental composition is major elemental composition is carbon, carbon, comma, hydrogen, and oxygen, oxygen. So underline separately carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Then write down the next points. Hydrates of carbon, it means carbohydrates are actually the hydrates of carbon. So if you write hydrates of carbon, that means carbohydrates, right? Okay, so that's the way that they are given in the resource book. So we'll write down hydrates of carbon, hydrates of carbon contain the same proportion, contain the same proportion, contain the same proportion of hydrogen to oxygen, same proportion of hydrogen to oxygen, right? It's a ratio hydrogen to oxygen, which equals to which equals to which equals to 2 is to 1, which equals to 2 is to 1, as in water, as in water. Okay, general formula is write down C, then subscript X, put a bracket, write down within the bracket H2O, then subscript Y. CxH2O CxH2O right? General formula is CxH2O. Then write down the next point. So underline CxH2O and underline H2O and 2 is to 1 in the earlier previous point also, right? Okay, right. Then write down three major groups of carbohydrates are carbohydrates are monosaccharide monosaccharides comma disaccharides disaccharides and and polysaccharides polysaccharides and polysaccharides, right? So underline separately monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharide separately, right? Right. So they write down generally carbohydrates include carbohydrates include carbohydrates include sugars sugars and and polysaccharides sugars and polysaccharides So underline sugars and then polysaccharides, right? Underline sugars then polysaccharides, right? Okay, so we'll move into that part now. We'll explain what we have written in the uh, note, right? Okay, so here they are mentioning about some relationship with the water along with the carbohydrates. They say that water, in water, if we take water H2O, right? So the ratio of water, it means hydrogen to oxygen ratio in water is how many hydrogen? 2 and 1 oxygen. 2 is to 1, right? Then they say that the ratio in carbohydrates also the same. CxH2O, right? CxH2O. Then we'll expand this CX, then H2Y, then OY. This is the way to write. Okay. Then hydrogen to oxygen ratio means 2y to y, right? Then hydrogen to oxygen ratio means 2y to y. It means actually once it simplified, y will be cutting out. Then 2 is to 1. So it will take the ultimate 2 is to 1 ratio as it is in water. Similar, right? Same ratio. Okay. This is the same ratio. Same ratio. Got it? Got it, right? The same ratio. Okay. Then that's the way how the ratio is matching, right? So you have to write this down quickly. Write down. It's not a very daunting or very difficult task, right? Difficult theory aspects. A very simple one. Right. Then we'll move to the that division of carbohydrates, right? As we wrote in the note, carbohydrates mainly can be categorized as what? One is monosaccharide, right? The other one is disaccharide, disaccharides. Then the other one is polysaccharides, right? Then we can divide it into 3 likewise, right? So what is mentioned there, that these monosaccharides and disaccharides, we can collectively mention them as sugars, right? So polysaccharides means actually they are polysaccharide. There is no other special name. Okay. So here you can see two types of classifications of carbohydrates. One is classified as monosaccharide, 1, 2 disaccharide, and 3 polysaccharide. It's a normal classification. So otherwise we can classify it as sugars 1, then polysaccharides 2. These are the two classifications, right? So one can say there are 3 types of carbohydrates, but one can say there are what, 2 types of carbohydrates, because one is taking monosaccharide and disaccharides both as sugars. Okay, note it down. Right, okay. Carbohydrates can be divided into three, right, as monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide, or otherwise into 2 as sugars and polysaccharides, right? Okay, now we are writing the point number point number 5, right? Okay, point number 5, write down monosaccharides, right? Okay, monosaccharides. Point number 5, monosaccharides. Monosaccharides, right? Okay, write down. The simplest form of the simplest form of the simplest form of carbohydrates. The simplest form of carbohydrates. Underline the simplest form. The simplest form, underline, right? Then general molecular formula. General molecular formula. General molecular formula. General molecular formula is general molecular formula is CH2O within brackets, then N outside. CH2ON. The common formula is CH2ON. So please underline that, right? Okay. Then the number of carbon atoms. The number of carbon atoms varies from 3 to 7. The number of carbon atoms varies from 3 to 7. Underline 3 to 7. 3 to 7. Right, okay. The next point, write down. right? All monosaccharides are all monosaccharides are reducing sugars. All monosaccharides are reducing sugars. Then next point, all monosaccharides are water soluble. All monosaccharides are water soluble. All monosaccharides are water soluble. Then all occur in crystalline form. These are all level knowledge, right? All occur in crystalline form. All occur in crystalline form. Okay. The next point. So please underline separated reducing. First underline all, only all, right? Then underline reducing sugars, water soluble, and then crystalline form, right? Underline those three, right? Okay. Then the next point right now. According to the number of carbon atoms, according to the number of carbon atoms, we can name them as follows. We can name them as follows. We can name them as follows. Okay. We'll move on to the board, right? Okay. We can name them as follows. So you have to create a table there, right? You have to create a table, right? Okay. So we'll arrange a table for that one. Okay. So table must include 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, right? Okay. And also in rows wise, once again 5 columns. It with the topic one or topics, right? Okay. Then we'll start. The number of carbon atoms, right? Then the type or the group. Then examples. And finally, the common formula, right? So there are actually 4 groups, right? We are not discussing carbon 7, we are only 3 to 6, right? Discussing 3, 4, then 5 and 6. Carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, then carbon 6. Carbon 3 means triose, carbon 4 means tetrose, carbon 5 means pentose, carbon 6 means hexose. Examples: carbon 3, okay, glyceraldehyde, right? Then carbon 4 erythrose, right? Carbon 5, they are ribose, they are ribulose, then deoxyribose. Then carbon 6, glucose, fructose, galactose. Common formula, now how to generate? Common formula is what, like common formula is CH2ON. It means CnH2n, then again ON. So if we take C3, then by 2, H6O3, no? C4H8O4, C5H10O5, C6H12O6, right? Okay. So there are some exceptions where some deviate from the normal formula. We'll discuss it, right? Okay. So first of all, complete the table. So now hope that you have completed it. Quickly write down, right? Quickly complete the table, copy the table, write down the content, right? So we'll explain. There are some important facts to write there, right? Right, then take a red pen and write down these points. Take a red pen, right? Take a red pen, right? Write down phosphoglyceraldehyde. Phospho. PHO. Phospho. Glyceraldehyde. Take a red pen. These must be written in a red pen, right? Phosphoglyceraldehyde is a derivative of triose. Phosphoglyceraldehyde is a derivative of triose. Then write down next point in red pen. Erythrosis rare in nature. Erythrosis rare in nature. Erythrosis rare in nature. Then write down the next point. So write down the next point. So write it in this manner, okay? Right. So you have to write it like R capital, U simple, B capital, P capital, RUBP. RUBP. R capital, U simple, B capital, P capital, RUBP is a derivative of is a derivative of is a derivative of ribulose ribulose ribulose. Then write down next point in red pen. Deoxyribose 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 doesn't follow does not follow the common formula does not follow the common formula does not follow the common formula, right? Okay, does not follow the common formula, right? Then we'll explain it. First one, phosphoglyceraldehyde, no? Phosphoglyceraldehyde. We'll explain it quickly. Phosphoglyceraldehyde made up of phosphate, PO4 minus, phosphate plus glyceraldehyde, right? Then glyceraldehyde itself is a triose, right? So phosphoglyceraldehyde indirectly is a derivative of triose, okay, right? Oh, it's a derivative of glyceraldehyde, okay. So then that's what regarding phosphoglyceraldehyde. Better to write it, right? So phosphoglyceraldehyde is a PO4 minus means phosphate, right? Within brackets write down. If I think you guys know these things, right? In O level science also have discussed those ions, right? Phosphate along with glyceraldehyde form the phosphoglyceraldehyde. right. Then the other point, erythrosis rare in nature, it means it's found in low amounts, right? Okay, so that's easy. Then we'll come to RUBP, right? RUBP, this is what it's. Then RUBP means it is ribulose bis means 2 phosphate, right? That is what RUBP stand for, right? So RUBP is a derivative of what? Ribulose. Very simple. It's a pentose derivative, right? Okay. That's the second point, right? Now, it's a derivative of ribulose or a pentose derivative, right? Pentose derivative, right? That's all. That's okay. Ribulose bisphosphate, RUBP. The short form is RUBP. Okay. Then deoxyribose, its molecular formula is C5 H10 and O4. There is a shortage of an oxygen. There is an -1 shortage, or shortage -1, and oxygen is it's less than the normal formula because it is a deoxyribose is a pentose, no? So for being a pentose, you must have C5H10O5, but here it's having a oxygen short. That's why deoxy, the name deoxy stands for deoxy, one oxygen shortage, short. Then what is the hydrogen to oxygen ratio here? 10 is to 4. It means 2.5 is to 1. Sorry, yeah, 2.5 into, sorry, yeah, 2.5 into 1. Okay, 2.5 into 1, right? So that's the ratio. It means that ratio is higher than 2 is to 1, right? It's higher than 2 is to 1. It means not the normal ratio. It's deviating from the normal ratio. That's why I gave that point that deoxyribose deviate from the common formula. Okay, right now. Then write down the next point. According to the type of carbonyl group, according to the type of carbonyl group, according to the type of carbonyl group, carbonyl, right? Monosaccharides can be classified as follows. Can be classified as follows. Carbonyl groups means C double bond oxygen, right? It is of two types. One is this can normally in chemistry, right? It's not biology. We'll discuss early first the chemistry part. C double bond O. Then either sides they are that R is on the either sides of the carbon atom. Then those kind of compounds are known as ketones. Chemistry, organic chemistry. There's a lesson called organic chemistry. I think in grade 30. So you will getting to know those things, and then these will be very simple, right? So but keep in mind, then there's another compound where carbonyl group one end is R and the other end is H, hydrogen atom. Then those are known as aldehydes. Aldehydes, right? Okay, aldehydes. Okay, two types. So first write down that one. So yeah, then yeah, wait, I will end it also. Then the sugars which are derived from those ketones are known as ketose sugars. It means those where their carbonyl group is a keto, known as ketose sugars. We'll discuss it in the diagram. We'll later discuss it today, right? Okay. Then the sugars derived from aldehydes are known as aldose sugars. Aldose sugars, right? Okay. So write it down quickly. Hurry up. Okay, now we'll divide. Now this is actually a very small point, right? No need to just keep in mind how aldose sugars looks like and how ketone sugars looks like. It's actually unnecessary, but the point we need to highlight is, so we need to get into the touch, is that how to separate them, right? So now just keep in mind, now there are we discussing about 8 monosaccharides, no? So how many? 8? How you say like that? So in this table, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 monosaccharides, right? So then what we are doing is we just separate those two, it means 8 monosaccharides into two groups, aldose and ketose. The easiest one is first to keep in mind what are ketoses. Only two ketoses are there, ribulose and fructose are the two ketose sugars, right? So ribulose and fructose. Then rest, it means glyceraldehyde, then erythrose, then ribose, then ribulose, then deoxyribose, then sorry, ribose and deoxyribose, not ribulose, right? Deoxyribose, then glucose, galactose, right? So we can separate it into two. Ribulose and fructose, there are two, so we can those two are actually coming under ketose sugars, right? This is the point. This is the point, right? So if you keep in mind these two as ketose, then you know rest are what? Aldose, right? Aldose sugars, right now. This is the separation, or this is the categorization, right? Okay. Then we write down this is a very important fact there, right? Okay. So, right now there's an important fact, right? Okay. So just go around the things we have discussed up to now, right? Just go around the things we have discussed up to now, uh, just one by one, quickly, right? Okay. So just to rewind the aldose and ketose part, there's a structural drawing there need to go through, right? Okay. Uh, right, there's a structural drawing. Okay, till that just go through the prior to that go through the parts which we have covered up to now. Okay. Now write down the point. Now write down the point. In aqueous medium, in aqueous media, right? In aqueous media, in aqueous media, some monosaccharides, some monosaccharides some monosaccharides are in are in are in ring form, are in ring form, are in ring form. So highlight aqueous media and then ring form, right? Highlight ring form and aqueous media both. right? Okay. uh, then examples, write down examples: glucose and fructose, glucose and fructose, right? Glucose and fructose, right? Okay. Now see, here you can first of all see that carbonyl group part, right? You can see here, it's the carbonyl group, right? Which I have explained, right? Carbonyl group and the arrangement, right? Here you can see now carbonyl group is this one, only this part is the carbonyl group, right? Okay. So you can see this carbonyl group has a hydrogen to one side and carbon to another side. Carbon means R, right? Carbon means R. It means this carbonyl group is like C double O, then H one side, then R one side. Then this is a what? This is an aldose, right? This is an aldose, right? So what has happened here? You can see the structure, the same arrangement. No? H, OH, H, 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 OH, OH, same, the same. What has happened? This carbon here is kind of bending, and this carbon is like they getting like a circle, right? They are getting close, right? Just like they are but getting attached. Now this carbon connected is this carbon, kind of arrangement, right? A simple arrangement, right? This is a very complex process how this uh, the ring form is made. It is not needed for the A level, advanced level, right? Okay, but you have to understand how this ring form has made. Now kind of a folding, no, this linear form has been, or the linear structure has been folded, right? Okay, to form this one. So this is known as, this is the linear form. Now I have drawn the glucose, linear form of glucose. So linear form is the what state? It's the solid state. Solid state, right? Okay. Linear form is found in the solid state, right? So this is the ring form, right? Okay. The ring form. Okay. Ring form. Okay. Ring. So it's not a circular like thing. It's given as ring in the resource book. Ring form of glucose, which is in the aqueous medium. Aqueous medium. Which is in the aqueous medium, right? Ring form of glucose. Okay. Ring form of glucose, which is in the aqueous medium. You can see the difference there, right? Okay, so it can available in both forms. So what are the molecules which show this kind of what kind of two different arrangement, right? So two different arrangements in different medias, different states. So what are the monosaccharides? One is glucose, so here we have drawn it, and the other one is fructose, right? Other one is fructose. Okay, write it down. So this is the linear structure. You can see it's linear, and linear structure is folded in order to create this ring form. Okay, got it. Quickly note it down. Quickly note it down. right? Okay, hope you have completed drawing. No need to waste time for that as much, right? Okay, then right, okay, write down point number 6. Okay, so point number 6, I think time is enough you to draw it, right? Point number 6, down. Disaccharides. Disaccharides. Point number 6, disaccharides. Disaccharides, right? Okay, write down. Disaccharides are formed by disaccharides are formed by joining joining disaccharides are formed by joining two monosaccharides two monosaccharides two monosaccharides by a glycosidic bond. Glycosidic glycosidic bond. Okay, so glycosidic bond. Now you know disaccharides also in the O level stuff. You have gone through that, but you don't know much about the structure or the arrangement how the disaccharides are formed. So you know the collection now. Two glucose to form maltose. Nice. One glucose and a fructose, sucrose. Mark. Then one glucose and galactose to form lactose, right? Okay, you know those things, right? But here I'm going with the structure. Now this is a glucose. I will draw another glucose here, right? I will draw another glucose like this, same structure, right? So here H, here OH, right? Then again H, OH, very cool structure, right? So here also H, then OH. No need to keep in mind of the structure OH, then H, the inversion of this one, right? Then H, then CH2OH, right? Very simple, right? So what is happening here now? No, now look at these are two glucose, right? This is glucose 1. I will write down as glucose 1. Then this is glucose 2. This is glucose 2, right? Okay. Now what is happening? You have to form a new one. Then as a result of that, a water molecule is leaving. A water molecule is leaving, right? A water molecule is leaving. So prior to this one, write down. Prior to this, prior to drawing this, write down. There are two molecules as A and B. Then they are kind of joining. They are joining to, right? They are joining to form the molecule known as C. A molecule called C. Then what happened? Water molecule is removing. A water molecule is removing, right? A water molecule is removing. Okay, got that point? A water molecule is removing, right? Okay, so A and B forming C, a water molecule is releasing, right? A water molecule is releasing, right? Okay, so a water molecule is releasing. So these kind of reactions are known as what type? They are condensation reactions, right? Condensation reactions. So these kind of reactions are known as condensation, right? A water molecule is released to form another new compound, right? So just write it prior to drawing these two diagrams. Just write this one. Okay, very simple. A plus B, an arrow C. Then over the arrow, write down condensation. It's a type of reaction where H2O is removing by breaking bonds here, right? Actually, not breaking bonds, right? H2O is removing. A new bond is formed. Actually, some bonds are breaking, right? This bond between O and H, they are broken. They are breaking, right? Okay, so what happening? Kind of new bond is formed. It's a glycosidic bond. We'll see what is the arrangement and how it's formed. right? Okay, so this is the simple arrangement: A plus B, C condensation, water is removing. Okay, got it. Nice. Then we'll continue with it. Now we need to make a water molecule, right? Just imagine, to make a water molecule we need two hydrogen and oxygen. What the way we can do? OH plus OH, what will happen? Then it will be H2O2. Then what will happen? OH from one side, then O from the other side. What will happen? O2H. Then what will happen? OH from one side, then H from one side. Then what will happen? Right, nice, perfect, H2O. So the correct way to make a water molecule is not this, neither this, nor this, and this is the way, right? So it can be this. Okay, it can be H from one side and OH other side. No issue how the OH and the H is coming, the way how it's coming, no matter from the which side or the which monosaccharide that the H and OH is coming. So what is important here? We need to create a water molecule. So here I will take that I will take as OH from this side and H from this side, right? Okay. Then what happened? That the water molecule is forming. Got that? Okay. The water molecule is forming. Okay. Water molecule is forming. Okay. Right. Okay. So don't write the water molecule here. So we'll see like this. Then here the way to form a water molecule, right? So different ways of forming water molecules here. Okay, different ways. So write down this one. After that, what we have written condensation. Write down this also. These four methods how a water molecule is made. This cannot. This is cannot. This okay. This okay. Very simple. හරිනේ. ඔය විදිහට තමයි එන්නේ. හරිද? Right. Okay. Then we'll create the new molecule here. So now see, here we have to redraw the structure. H here, then H, OH, right? And here OH, then H, then H, then OH, then CH2OH, then H, right? So the same one we need to draw once again. HOH, then OHH, then H, then here CH2OH, then H. Now what is happening? Here oxygen molecule is there. No, there's no change. But what happens? Now here, what will happen? A new bond is forming between this, right? Okay. So what is there actually at the edges? There's a carbon. This carbon, there's a carbon, there's a carbon, there's a carbon like this. There's a carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are the 6 carbon. This is the sixth one, right? Here also same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth one. It means carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, then this is a carbon 6. Okay, the arrangement. Okay, so this forming bond is known as what? Glycosidic bond. glycosidic bond. So what is happening here? The disaccharide is formed, and what happens? A water molecule is removed, right? Okay, a water molecule is removed. Okay, that's what happening. So the formed compound is known as, this is what? This is the maltose. Okay, this is maltose. Two glucose molecules are combined to form a maltose, right? Just underneath one. Right, hope that you have completed drawing that. That's the simple arrangement. Okay, so now write down, glycosidic bond is formed by, glycosidic bond is formed by, glycosidic bond is formed by removal of a, removal of a, removal of a water molecule from, water molecule from removal of water molecule from two adjacent, two adjacent, two adjacent monosaccharides, monosaccharides by a, by a by a condensation reaction. By a condensation reaction. By a condensation reaction. So underline the water molecule and also condensation reaction, right? Condensation reaction, underline both, right? They write down. Water molecule is formed. Water molecule is formed. Water molecule is formed from OH group of one monosaccharide molecule N, one monosaccharide molecule N, hydrogen from adjoining monosaccharide molecule, adjoining monosaccharide molecule. So underline OH and then H, because you can see OH from 1 and H from 1, right? Okay, in the earlier diagram. So then there's an important one. We'll go to the board there, write it. Okay, there's an important one, important factor there. Okay, there's an important factor that how the disaccharides are forming. Okay, so how the disaccharides are forming. So there's an important fact. So you have to write down. Now you know how those are forming. So galactose, sorry, not galactose, right? Okay, glucose and another glucose plus glucose. So what you normally write, glucose plus glucose gives out maltose, plus then you know a water molecule is released, right? Okay, H2O, right? Okay, H2O. Then is this all, or is this enough? If you write like this, is this enough to obtain marks at the exam? No, it's not enough. So you have to write down condensation. You have to write down condensation also, right? Okay. Then glucose plus fructose, glucose plus fructose, glucose plus fructose form sucrose. Glucose plus fructose form sucrose, right? Glucose plus fructose form sucrose. So there also you need to write as condensation. As condensation, right? Then the other one, glucose plus galactose form what? They form lactose with H2O, with H2O, right? Okay, then you have to write down condensation there too, condensation there too, right? Condensation there too. Okay, so this is how to write the perfect way of forming a disaccharide. If you ask in the SCQ, this is normally asked in SCQ, but because these are not given in, there's no way of giving this in MCQ. MCQ will ask, right, glucose and glucose form maltose, like that kind of statement, right? But otherwise, if you given the full entire that reaction to write, it will be tested in the SCQ. So the most important one, you have to write the, you know, this is a condensation reaction, but once you write answers in A levels, in exam papers, any exam, maybe term test, maybe A levels or anything, you have to write it in order that you have to assume that the one who is checking your paper, actually those papers are marked by well educated and well knowledgeable teachers, right? Okay, but you have to imagine like the paper is marked by a unknown person, that person who is don't know anything on subject and just entirely referring on the marking scheme. So you have to think in that aspect, then you have to write the answers. That's why I always mention these are very important. This is a very small part, very small point, may not be asked in the exam, but if it is asked in the exam, if you didn't write this condensation, then you will lose all the marks. You will get 0. Right? Even though it's a simple part, you won't obtain the marks. That's why I highlight it once again. H2O along with condensation is must. Write down. Right. Okay. That's one more point to go in today's session. There's one more point because uh, we are completing till disaccharides. At the end of the disaccharides, okay, there's one more point to go. Right now we are completing the syllabus very smoothly and with the perfect theory, right? So actually English medium students, the what they have now, Sinhala medium students, the issue they are having, actually I'm not blaming anyone, right? It's not my duty, right? Not blame, but it means now I am having experience with 3 revision batches early, and I'm going with the 4th batch in our tuition. Right, okay, it's the first batch of theory students, but what I am getting from the students, those revision students, those who failed to pass the exam, or maybe fail means not getting F pass, not they are the students who are unable to get the proper pass at the A level, no? Even in biology it's the same. So what they are always taking, what they are always telling, now we have gone to theory class, but uh, what happening, just they go on just telling nonsense. If the class is 3 hours, half of the time is regarding anything like banner like things, right? Okay, anyway, so those kind of things, so motivations like things, not the subject, right? Okay, I'm not telling that this is applicable for all the classes, but majority what they are saying is like thing. I don't know about the thing. This is not a thing which is uh, my perspective or my view. Okay, what I am doing is I am going along with my procedures. I am teaching and I am always focusing. If the class is 4 hours, 4 hours teaching. Okay, right? So what students, from the students point of view, what they are selling, what they are saying, that that what's happened to them, right? So it's from single medium students, right? That comment. From the English medium students, the comment that I'm getting frequently, they were kind of cheated by several teachers. The class fees at level of sky, right? But if the normal single medium fees is 3,000, then English medium fees beyond 6,000. That's the standard they are maintaining. Only that's the only standard they are maintaining. The class fees. That's the only standard. Nothing in the subject. Okay, so they are cheated. They were unable to find the class. Then what they do, they reject class. No, I won't go to any class, and I will study self study. But the guidance is needed, no? Right? That's the part from the English union. So therefore, uh, take the benefit from this, because we are covering each and every detailed theory part, right? Now, up to now, compare with any class in the, now in the YouTube, there are several classes now, right? For 2028 biology classes. And also if you are going to a physical class, just contrast the notes, not the diagrams or pictures like things, right? Okay, with the note, with the explanations, right? Compare the note, important points, or that points I am giving to I am giving you to underline like things, right? So focus on those points, right? Okay, you have to focus on those points, right? So then focus and just contrast the two notes, or many notes, multiple notes with our note. Then you can see clearly the point wise teaching. Okay, and once you started doing papers, you will realize the importance of this note. This is more important than gold even, right? From your POV, right? Okay, so then right, okay, then the final point of the today's proceedings. Now it's very important, right? This is reducing sugars versus non-reducing, right? There is a part for reducing versus non-reducing sugars, right? But the thing, so if you don't know this, actually you might don't know, you are not familiar with this, right? Reducing and non-reducing, there's a thing called reducing and non-reducing. I will describe this once it come to the nucleotide section. So in another 2-3 days we'll go to that part, right? Okay, so we'll go to that part. Okay, right? Then here till then I will just emphasize, so the disaccharides which are there in the syllabus, it means sucrose, right? Okay, then maltose, then lactose. So those disaccharides have been divided as reducing and non-reducing. All the monosaccharides, are what? Reducing. We have written that all the monosaccharides are reducing, but disaccharides, they are into two groups, right? Okay, one is, to keep in mind, very easy to keep sucrose in mind, it is non-reducing. It is the non-reducing one, right? It is the abnormal or the kind of deviating factor. But maltose and lactose, as usual as monosaccharides, they are what? They are reducing. They are reducing, right? This is the point. Now, in the exam, these kind of questions are asking, right? So write down the formation of the, right? Oh, what are the monosaccharides contribute to form the non-reducing disaccharide? Then what is the question is about? Write down the monosaccharides responsible to make sucrose, glucose, and fructose. Got it. In the exam, they have directly asked in MCQs, select the non-reducing sugar out of followings. Then the answer is sucrose. Very simple, right? You will get to know these things once we complete the tute, right? We will complete tute. We take a separate day for tute completion after doing some sort of theory parts, right? Then we'll take the day and we'll complete the tutes, right? Okay, so write it down, right? Reducing versus non-reducing. Then sucrose is non-reducing, then maltose and lactose, they are reducing. They are reducing. Reducing, right? Reducing versus non-reducing. Okay. Reducing versus non-reducing, right? Right. Okay, so that's the final point, right? Okay, then now you have just kind of a small tip there. Now when once you have things to keep in mind, now here you have two topics now, ketose and aldose, right? When you try to keep these facts in mind, it is very easy. Now two facts, no, just so no like thing, no. Now imagine in a certain particular space or a class there are 50 students, right? Then they say 10 are male. Then do you keep the value of female as a kind of a point? No. If they give us 10 males, then 50 total. Then you already know there are 40 females. You already know 40 females. How you take? By just analyzing on one factor. If you keep in mind 10 males and right 10, if you keep in mind like 10 males, right, 40 females, it's tough. No, why you waste your memory? Okay, so here also there are two sugar types, ketose and aldose. So what is the important one? For the ketose there are only two monosaccharides. Now you have how many? 8. You have 8 monosaccharides. Out of those 8 monosaccharides, only 2 are ketoses. Then if you memorize those, because you are going through all the 8 monosaccharides, no, you need to keep in touch with 8 monosaccharides. You have to know, if I'm asking you give me the list of 8 monosaccharides, then you have to be able to give that list, right? You have to able to write that list, right? So then what happened? The 8, then 2 are ketos. Then do you need to just memorize once again these 6 are aldoses? No, you then yourself, by yourself, without any effort, you can understand, or you can keep in mind the rest are aldoses likewise. So here the same thing, right? There are 3 disaccharides. One is non-reducing, sucrose. Then literally the other two, rest, maltose and lactose, they are reducing. Okay, very simple one. Once there are two factors of two kind of deviations, right, two kind of things, two kinds of groups to keep in mind, just focusing on one, the other. Okay, it's a simple point trick, right? Okay. So guys, now the things related to today's uh, session is over. So now keep studying those things, right? Now we have completed 4 days almost. So what you have to do, just focusing on those parts we have taught in the class, right? So we are mainly focusing on studying rather than any other motivation or kind of thing. So talking different kinds in the class. So our entire class time is allocated for teaching, right? Okay, but you might feel now we have going through things very quicker, very faster, but in detail. In detail, we have covered all the details, right? So every tiny point, and the note is the perfect you will obtain in all island, right? All island wide after the completion of 2028 theory, there won't be any theory note to be by the ranges, right? Okay, to compete with our note definitely, because we are highlighting every important MCQ points here, and also to go with that, our duty is there. Now, it's a perfect kind of a perfect mixture to have, right? Okay, so that's what for the today's proceeding. So keep grinding, keep motivated and study, right? Your motivation is yourself, not others, or not others words, right? They are just kind of boosters, right? Just temporary boosters, right? Then if you go through a motivation, it's kind of goosebumps will come for 10 minutes, then they will go right? But if you take motivation as yourself, then that will keep remaining for the entire life. Okay, got it? So it's what done and dusted for the today's session. Then let's wrap up the session. Okay, all the best wishes for the new year. Okay, so then okay, goodbye. Have a nice day. We'll meet with the next session, session number 4.